Wait a minute. Jess doesn't wait for an introduction. Jess Ramirez enlisted in the U.S. Army after graduating from Oxnard High School in 1964. Same year as I? Yeah. Not from that school, though. I went to Hoover. After serving 6 months in Europe as a U.S. Army helicopter mechanic, he was sent to Cam Ranh Bay to unload cargo ships from, of all places, Port Hueneme. He returned home in February 1968, and now you're on, Jess.
Thank you. I knew that I was, some of you heard my story before, right? My entire life story. I'm not going to tell you that story today. Because I don't have enough time. I could talk about my story forever. First of all, I did join the Army, kind of prematurely because I was going to join the Army after I went to school, college for 2 years. But unfortunately, my high school sweetheart broke up with me while I was in high school. So I figured, well, you know what? What's the use? You know, then Paul and came with the song, you know, Lonely Boy. So I gotta get out of here. But see, I knew that I was gonna join the Army because when I was 9 years old, living in El Paso, Texas, I had gone to the movies and I saw Elvis Presley, GI Blues, and it was in Europe. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing he's doing. I go to Europe and have a good time. So I joined the Army. So at that time, you could sign up for an assignment or a school. Well, I had gotten a D in biology in Ventura College in 1965, 64, so I wasn't about to finish my school. So I chose Europe unassigned. I figured, well, I'll join the Army and go to Europe and do what Elvis Presley does and have a good time and travel all over the country. I didn't realize there was a war going on in the Far East, all right? I don't know whether I would have joined if I would have known. But anyway, but I was in there already. So I go to basic training in Fort Polk, Louisiana. I joined in February, so it was kind of cool. I finished basic training in Fort Polk, went to Alabama, Fort Rucker, Alabama for helicopter school. So I was trained as a helicopter mechanic. I went to the H-13s, H-13s and 23s and UH-1s. UH-1s are the Hueys, all right? There was 42 of us in our unit. 41 of them were USs, draftees, 1 RA, me. So they kept making fun of me, Jess, you're gonna go to Vietnam with us. I said, no, I'm not. I joined. They can't send me to Vietnam. The commitment is to send me to Europe. Actually, I want to go to France because I want to learn French and drink their wine and get to know their women. But they sent me to Germany. Okay. So I finished my helicopter school. They all left for the 1st Cav Division because crew chief on Hueys are also the gunners. All right, because they cannot afford the space, so everybody gets utilized. So they all left. I have never kept in touch with any of them, so I don't know their destiny. I don't know what happened. Okay. Now this morning before I came here, I did call my friend Robert Spiegel from Rhode Island, who was with me in Vietnam. Okay. So finally, after becoming a chaplain's assistant in Fort Eustis for about 3 months, they realized that I was there for more school, so they sent me to Chinook School, which is a double tandem rotor helicopter, the big one. The CH-37. CH-47, yeah. See, I'm forgetting. 51 years ago. Long time ago. So I finally wound up in Europe. They sent me to Munich, Germany, which is known for their excellent beer. Well, I don't like beer. So I was there for 6 months and I was watching the Buffalo show from Cameron Bay. And I'm feeling guilty because now I feel, I shouldn't even be here, in this nice barrack. I should be in Vietnam. Few months later, we get called that they need us in Vietnam. So thousands of us were pulled out of the European theater, came to Fort Eustis, got trained as longshoremen. All right. So there we are trained. This guy's from all over fields, all kinds of fields. So we were trained as longshoremen in Fort Eustis for 2 months, day and night, and they put us on a CH-37. C-130. You're here with me, Tony. C-130.
with a wife?
Yeah, no, I didn't. We went to high school together, by the way. So put us in C-130, 56 hours flying time after stopping in San Francisco, Hawaii, Guam, all over the place. We finally landed in Cameron Bay. Okay, they didn't tell us where we were gonna go, but we knew we were going. We were all combat ready with our rifles and everything else. So we landed in Cameron Bay, and for the first month we were filling sandbags, sandbags to form our perimeter, to protect our perimeter. And we started unloading ships. Now, most of my friends that I hang around with, they're all Vietnam vets. They all got all kinds of wars. So they kept me that make fun of me because they tell me that I wasn't really in the war, which is probably true. I mean, I was there. It's like a bad dream. I never fired my rifle. Only when one time we went to the rifle range and qualified again. So Vietnam didn't cost anything about it. There was 200 of us in our unit, and basically what I did, I mean, there were kids there from all over the country who had a sort of a negative stereotype of what a Mexican was like. So they all thought that I carried a knife and played the guitar. Okay, well, hell, I don't play the guitar, not carry a knife. Okay? So my year in Vietnam, with Cameron Bay, and then we moved to Long Binh, was educating all these young men from all over the country that all Mexicans don't carry knives. So I had a kind of a decent time. Then I was very resourceful. I was a photographer, so I took Polaroid pictures. So everybody loved me. We went to the village with the girls loved me because I took their pictures, and like GIs. I sold pictures for a living while I was in Vietnam. So I was a very popular soldier there. They all liked me. So when we moved to Long Binh from Cameron Bay, this is where the sad part comes in though. We established a camp and they asked for volunteers. We could either continue being a stevedore and go to the Saigon River outside Saigon and unload the ships, or stay back and build a camp. Well, because of my background, construction, my father was a stonemason, I knew something about cement. So I volunteered to stay back and build our camp. I was in charge of the cement detail. Where my best friend from Vietnam, Robert Spilo, who's now dying of Agent Orange, chose to remain a stevedore, so he continued going to the Saigon River, unloading the ships. So now him and I talk about it, and he's sick and I'm not. He said, Jess, well, don't you remember unloading the ship from the ships, which was Agent Orange? Okay. So he got contaminated, unloading the stuff from the ships, and I didn't. And I feel bad because I tell Bob, hey, when you know you're gonna die, man, let me know. I want to see you one more time. And that's my story, very simple. And now I'm back, so now I'm working across the street as a longshoreman. So what can I say? Pardon?
And a commissioner.
And a commissioner, yeah. Any questions? You like to play guitar? No. And I still don't carry a knife. Even though now that I'm a longshoreman, I should carry a knife, but even now I don't carry a knife. So.
He does have a sharp tongue.
Yeah, you mentioned something about you had to kind of tell your other friends or buddies that no, Mexicans carry guitars or knives. Was there any other kind of tension? I mean, this was the 60s and 70s. Was there any
okay. Within our community, I'm talking about my Mexican community. We're very proud military people. There's no discrimination. Everybody loves us. The fact that we wore uniforms to protect this country. Even though with all the injustices that happened, we're still very proud. We're still very proud group. And when I came back, I didn't feel any discrimination whatsoever about being in Vietnam. I have now, my daughters who are now college graduates have a whole different perspective on the wars, but not in my case.
Other questions?
Yeah, here. I'm sorry about your buddy that is dying from Agent Orange. Agent Orange was a defoliant that they used in Vietnam to get rid of all kinds of growth in the area, to open it up so as troops we could see what was out there. Because a lot of the brush out there was very thick. There are a lot of Vietnam veterans that were up on the lines who were affected by Agent Orange. I've already had cancer surgery from Agent Orange, cancer of the prostate. And there are a lot of other conditions that have occurred as a result of the use of Agent Orange. Honestly, the United States should have never used it. Canada told them that not to use it, but they used it anyway. And for a lot of troops, a lot of troops that were over there, even ones that were unloading the 55-gallon drums of it, all know that it was very harmful, and a lot of Americans came back with cancer and all kinds of different problems as a result of the use of Agent Orange in Vietnam.
Another question.
I have a question for Frank.
Pass it to Frank.
I just needed to get your picture, so I wanted the microphone in your hand. So, when you were in Vietnam as a clerk, so how many thousands of soldiers were processed through whatever administrative? Was it a real challenge to keep track of everybody, or because I always find that amazing. Like
that wasn't my job. I was a clerk typist. I don't know. I worked in officer personnel. We had about 100 or so records that we kept for officers, and anyway, we had 2 brigades of combat engineers, 18th and 20th Engineer Brigades, and so there was an officer section and an enlisted section, and but there was thousands more service type troops than combat troops. It was just unbelievable. Long Binh was a huge, sprawling post, very big.
Tony, did you want to?
Yes, with respect to the last question, there was 3 corps in Vietnam, and each corps has about 50,000 folks in it. So that's 150. Then you got to remember that for each soldier, there was 3 to 4 folks in the rear to support them, which basically says, I agree with what you're saying. So it's probably about 400,000 or so people in Vietnam at any one point in time. Jim was saying earlier that he went to machete training, and I encountered a bamboo viper one morning while we were clearing an LZ. And in jungle school in Panama, they showed us how to cut bamboo at a 45-degree angle. And Jim, I hope that's what you learned, because this viper was really unhappy with us. You spoke about Bob Hope, and that was around the 26th to the 27th of December in '68. I encountered Bob Hope and his party at Cu Chi on the airhead or at the airport. And my recollection is of a major coming over and telling us, you have to move your company because you're dirty and you're ugly, so move away because we don't want Bob Hope to see you. Yes, absolutely. And so company commander and the rest of us, we moved off the flight line. And later that day we got showers and new uniforms. But we spent 3 to 4 weeks in the bushes, and we might get laundry every 3 weeks, and we were up to our own self to shower and do our personal hygiene. As I look around the room, I see all these things that I grew up with here in Port Hueneme. On the 26th of December, and I remember this vividly, we were in Convoy getting ready to leave, and I looked down outside the mess hall, and there was a box of lemons that came from Sunkist Lemons in Oxnard. Completely blew me away. And you talked about some of the Hispanics in the Army. Oxnard has a Medal of Honor winner. His name is Al Rascon, and we have another fellow that's in line, hopefully, for that recognition. Al Rascon went to elementary school and high school with my wife, and we see him from time to time at reunions. But Al wanted to be in the Army when he was 11 years old. And he jumped out of a tree with a makeshift parachute and broke his arm. Yeah, and he was airborne. So it's interesting. Vietnam was a very interesting place. I frankly enjoyed my time there, and I enjoyed the camaraderie of my troops and some of the experiences.
Now, on the ones that have Purple Hearts, we do have an active club in Ventura. Now it covers Van Nuys all the way up to Toledo. And we meet at the Veterans Home 1 month, and we meet at the VFW on the beach in Santa Barbara the next month. And if any of you are against Purple Hearts and want to come and take part, just come on out, let us know, and I can get you the dates that we have our meetings. But I wanted to say I stayed in, when I went into school district in management, I went started college and wound up getting 2 degrees, plus served on the city council for 8 years. And so this is my new home for
I'd like to make one more. Oh, I'm afraid.
May the 9th, we're having a grand opening of a new VA center clinic here in Oxnard. Are you aware of that? It's an open house. Open house, yeah. Anyway, on my unit, the ILWU long-term unit across the street, we're going to be providing food for that, the hamburgers. Okay.
Before we go, I'd like to have every one of the Vietnam vets in the audience stand up. So starting back in the back, stand up and just introduce yourself. Any Vietnam vets anywhere in here? Yes.
$1,000. What unit are you with?
Tell us what unit you're with,
Oh, I
too.
went to Special Forces Group down in the Delta.
Okay?
Dale Dean, I was C-130 pilot, 65
C-130 pilot.
through 16 planes.
Oh,
My name is Pete Schultz. I was with the 1st Engineer Battalion, Tunnel Rat.
tunnel rat, okay.
Real skinny then. My name is Edward Rascon. I was with the U.S. Navy in Nape, 20 miles from Saigon.
Thank you for your service. And
George Todd. I was with Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 26th Marines. Hoorah.
He's had his hand up for 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Tom Gunn, and I was stationed here with the CBs in CB Unit 3.
All right, now Patrice has the hat, right? Patricia has the hat? I can't get both already. You want to pass it? Sure. Okay. Stand in front of them and make it feel really good. All right, we want to thank again Ron, Jim, Frank, Tony, and Jess. Great job. Please avail yourself of lunch.